Welcome to the Forever Better Academy podcast, where you will be given the principles, tools, and techniques to reach the next stage on your journey of self-mastery. Who could you become? I'm your host, Wade Vincent. Have you ever tried fishing without bait? That's pretty much what I was doing, and I'm sure if you ever have done that, you realize it doesn't get you very far. So this is Wade Vincent here for the Forever Better Academy podcast. Now, today what I want to go through with you guys is basically, there's an old saying many of you are probably familiar with that it's probably thousands of years old, and it's teach a man to fish and... Okay, I should probably get that right before we go through this, shouldn't I? Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So this is the premise what I would love to go through today, because I feel there's so much value in really exploring what that means and the truth in that and what that delivers for you in your life. Now, obviously, it's an old saying, so please don't anyone get upset. There's teach a man to fish. We can teach a woman to fish. We can teach a child to fish. It's irrelevant. What matters is the context of what that actually means, okay? So clear that up first and foremost. Basically, many of you guys are familiar with my story, right? So for the longest time, and like any man, right? You just want to do the best you can and provide for your loved ones. And that's, I guess that's anyone, nowadays, like everyone that's working hard to put a roof over their children's head and food on the table. The greatest joy that you feel is knowing that you can do that, and there's a level of safety and security for your family, especially for me personally. That's how I feel, right? So I early on, never really was excited by school or education, at least in the format that's a traditional sense, and couldn't wait to get out of there. Got into apprenticeships and tried to find a craft, and I knew that I needed to go through my journey and process of discovering, what I was good at, who am I, what can I bring to the table, so to speak. And it takes a little while, especially, when you don't really have any sort of clear direction, or you're not receiving the guidance to help keep you on the right path. You're looking at multiple paths and going, well, this one looks reasonable, I'll take it and see where it leads. And I did a lot of that. So over the course of my late teens and early 20s into probably even into my early 30s, really when it started to when I started to find a sense of direction and what kind of path that was not only beneficial for me to walk down, but also I could give back and offer my skills and strengths and abilities that would benefit others. So I as I said, I'm a qualified chef. I did an apprenticeship, earned very, very little money, and I had friends at the time that were in logistics and driving trucks. And when they told me the money they were earning compared to what I was earning as a chef, I was just like, yeah, I'm out of here. Forget cooking, because at that point, it was really just, I needed to earn a living. I need to be able to survive. And it's one of those things, as much as, I enjoyed cooking, I also enjoy not starving to death. So I jumped ship. And a strange thing, this is a thing that's really weird with hospitality, especially in Australia. I could cook in a world-class restaurant and be of a senior level in the kitchen, and I was making more money driving the truck, delivering the food to the kitchen, dusting my hands and walking away than I was busting my ass for 12, 14 hours in a stinking hot kitchen, trying to, make my way and through a career in commercial cookery. So I naturally jumped at the chance. got into trucks and got my license, went through removals and loading and unloading shipping containers for people traveling, relocating internationally. And it even though it was a jump, it still wasn't enough money for us as a family, right? It was much better. But as you know, I sort of settled down and I found, the woman that I loved, and we, were blessed to find out she was pregnant with our first baby. It was like I hadn't really, established myself or my financial security or ability to provide for a family, and now I was faced with this reality of, now I'm about to, provide for a wife and a little baby, and I need to figure this out very quickly. I tell you, it makes you grow up really fast. So we had children young, but not too young. So I was 23 when our first son was born, and my partner, she was 21, I think, at the time. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the sort of, where it all began, right? The origins. And as I said, I can't obviously speak for every man, but I definitely know from my own experience and how I feel about this was I always had a deep-seated desire to provide. It just feels this instinctual thing, and I find great joy in it. It makes me feel a sense of achievement and accomplishment to be able to, protect and provide for my family. It gives you a sense of purpose, right? And maybe that stemmed from, as I said in the past, I was raised by a single mother, was two little kids, and there's a wealth of things you learn from your youth and your experience growing up. Even if you don't see the things that are positive examples or valuable paths for you to follow along, you still know if you're on a path that you don't like or doesn't align with what feels right to you, you still know that's a lesson, and you want to do the opposite. So I've always wanted to have kids, and I always wanted to be the breadwinner, be a provider, and take care of my family, right? So I had obviously that desire that drove what I was doing. And and as I said, that thing deep down inside, there's that, like you really are compared and weighed against other men. Am I good enough? Am I capable to provide? Because you realize it's really on you. And that's another thing too. A lot of people don't really talk about this, and I think it's important to also bring it to the table. That there's a lot of unspoken pressure that's on men. And it's very easy because of, especially in Western society, how we're conditioned to, men just handle things. You're told that's what you do. You take care of it. It's on you, and that is, and not to say that that's necessarily wrong or right. It's just a way of thinking, a concept, an approach to men in Western society. And there's elements that are positive and there's elements that are detrimental, but the thing in it is that you really understand. It comes to that point where there isn't anyone else. Like you have to figure this out. It's on you. You need to do this, even if you're in a position where you have a partner that works and also provides. That's what we have in our family. We both bring money into the family. There's still this deep-seated sense that I want to make sure that I can look after everyone, and then it does. It really weighs on you at times. You think, am I as capable as other people? And absolutely, I am, and I realize that's a question a lot of men probably face, and it's important to know that absolutely you are as well. It's just right down to learning how to fish. So this is what I want to go through today, is basically the importance of as I said, that quote earlier, understanding the difference between having the fish being the resources provided to you as opposed to the difference when you learn how to fish, aka provide those resources for yourself. All right, so I didn't have any example to follow, which is probably why I went down those paths where I really didn't know where those paths led or if they were the right kind of paths to be walking on. But I knew that I had to take some steps and walk and figure out if they are the paths. You know, there's no harm in taking the wrong path. It's more admirable that you're taking action and moving down a path because you're still learning and you understand, and you can take those experiences and help guide you on your decision making process when you do ultimately find the path that is the right one for you. It's important to get that momentum and keep moving, right? So as I said, I didn't have any instruction, or I never had a father around that could guide me. And as I've said, I do have a good relationship with my father now, but he didn't really have necessarily a family business that I could be skilled up and learn the process and experience that and be exposed to that from an early age, where I could learn and absorb through osmosis and eventually take over a business. I never really had any sort of business savvy people around me, or as I said, even in other episodes, people that were highly educated either. So I needed to understand. I knew that I wanted to go fishing. Just to stick with this analogy, right? I knew that I wanted to go fishing, but I wasn't even aware that I needed a rod, that I needed some hooks, I needed sinkers, I needed some bait, and I needed to find somewhere to go fishing, right? So all I had was the will to catch that fish and no idea where to start, right? So it doesn't matter, because really, if you've got that will and that desire, as Simon Sinek says, start with why. If you've got the why, you'll find the how, right? So as long as you have that desire and that purpose and you know where you want to be, that's half the battle, and you can figure the rest out along the way. Because there's many people that have done this, right? I'm not the first person to try and fish, right? I'm not even trying anything crazy or out there, or I'm not trying to innovate. I'm just trying to follow in the footsteps of every human being since the beginning of human species, providing and making sure that my kids don't starve to death and that they have somewhere safe to live, right? It's very straightforward stuff. So I knew I want to go fishing. So what do I need to do, right? How do I figure out where I go from here? What's going to, give me the tools that I need to achieve, coming home to my family? Here's the fish. I got it, right? So I understood I needed to identify somebody who had achieved what I was looking to achieve, and then learn from them. So the very first step, because I didn't have exposure or that in my universe, I didn't have that proximity to the craft or the skill set that I desired to learn. So I had to find those people and how to get around them, right? So that's the plan of attack. I'm going to go find someone who's done what I'm setting out to do, and that can impart their wisdom and show me how to fish, right? So I took it upon myself. Okay, so how do I find the person that's done these things? So the first thing I had to really consider, where would these people be, right? So let's say if I'm I have that desire to catch the fish, I'm not going to go to the desert, right? The fisherman isn't going to be sitting in the desert. I need to go where the fishermen are fishing, right? So I had to find the river, the ocean, the stream, the watering hole. I had to go and find the people that could teach me that. So once I understood my pathway led me on the journey to understand that the strength that I have and the skill set that I can enhance and build upon is sales. So from stemming from that background of just being extroverted and enjoying laughter and joy and banter with people, and from being a performer for a long time, and not being shy to stand on a stage in front of thousands of people, like, it's this attention. I was a little attention seeker. I love it. I'll be in the limelight. I don't mind at all. I'm quite happy for people to pay attention to me. I'm not shy about that at all. So I understood that's how I'm going to catch my fish. That's my strength, my bait, if you will, my ability to use those skills and harness my ability to provide for my family, right? So that's my bait, my skill set. And I got into the realm of sales after I was able to leverage existing skill sets from cooking that led me through logistics and supply chain and food services, that eventually led me down the path of getting into sales in transport software and also e-commerce now, right? So it led me to the watering hole because I had the desire and I was making moves and walking down the path, right? So I knew my skill set, and as they say, like attracts like. You have that positive energy that you're putting out to the universe. Sure enough, you start to find those circles and those people and those industries, and you find your tribe where you belong. All right, you're putting that energy out and telling the universe, this is who I am, where I want to go, where I'm headed. And sure enough, you'll find your way down the right path, right? So I was able to get myself in proximity and around the right kind of people. And once I understood that and I positioned myself around those people, I was then able to see the people that had achieved what I was looking to achieve, and not only be around them, but start to watch and observe and understand and see them in action and see how they fished, how they provided for their families, what they did. Did they just catch the one fish and call it a day? Did they catch enough fish that would provide for others? Did they share that wisdom of where that special fishing spot was? Did they teach techniques about the tools that they use, the kind of bait that they use, the rod and the equipment? And I had to find people that were willing to and able to empower me to succeed, to be the best fisherman I can be. So that was a key point. I struggled a lot at first. It was very easy to find fishermen, right? Because, as I said, this is not a unique thing. I'm just trying to best learn how to harness my strengths and skill sets to provide for my family, which is, day in, day out, a normal thing, part of society, how it's structured, what we were all here to do, in essence, is to provide and look after our families, right? So it was easy to find fishermen, but there's always that conflict or risk or concern. Some people aren't honest. Some people don't have your best interests at heart. There's times to run with this analogy because I feel that it works perfectly for what we're talking about. So there'd be times where I'll head down to the fishing hole and there'll be a guy fishing there, right? And he'll say to me, "Hey, wait, there's actually the fish are biting, 50 meters upstream. I've had huge success up there." So I'm like, "Oh, thank you, I appreciate that," and I make my way upstream and not being experienced enough to realize that he's sending me upstream because I'm cutting into his fish profit, right? It's taking away from him, and if the fish were biting upstream, where would he be, right? Upstream. So it's important to remember that not everyone has your best interest at heart, and it takes experience to learn that. So that is a part of the journey and understanding and going through those experiences to learn from them. But the reason I impart this with you guys is because I don't want you to have to go through the same mistakes that I did. You can jump the queue almost, right? So it was vital to find the people that understood what I was looking to achieve and were willing to empower me to do so. And when you find those people, they're generally people that come from a place of abundance. They understand there is enough fish for you, there's enough fish for me, there's enough fish for them, and they're not shy about sharing that information and passing on that wisdom and the guidance to you, because they understand, like you, they were in that position not long ago as well. So it's crucial that you find those right people that can give you the tools. And any one of those guys could have thrown me a fish and said, "Here, here's the fish. Take it home, feed your family." And sure enough, my family will get a meal. But there's no comparison to the gift that is given to you when somebody teaches you how to provide for yourself. The way that it changes and shapes your life. And this is part of Forever Better Academy. Why I do what I do is because I've been blessed with people who were prepared to empower me and show me how to catch my own fish. And that's why I'm here now recording this and sharing this stuff with you, because I want you to be able to do the same thing. I know what it feels like when you're hungry. I know what it feels like when you're not sure that the electricity is going to stay on in the house. I know, the point where I was, hawking goods, selling stuff just to put food on the table because we didn't have the money. There's times where you don't even know if you're going to be able to pay rent. So you have to pay that forward. And when someone is kind enough to give you that, you must pay it forward as well. You've got to share that knowledge and keep that energy and that positivity flowing and moving forward. It's why it's there. So the most wonderful thing from all of this, when I found out, the kind of bait to use, my skill set, right? The equipment I need, where the fish are, the best time to fish. All of these things now become instinctual to me, and I understand how to provide for my family because I've been given the gifts and the foresight and the knowledge to know how to fish, right? And it's as I say, empowering. I've used that word a few times, but there's no better way to describe it. It's empowering to feel that relief and confidence in your ability to give and provide for your family, even to the point where when you get good enough at it, you can pass on long after you're gone, even generationally, and provide those same tools and techniques and principles to your family, right? So there's almost like a transformation almost of who you become, and it's honestly one of the most joyous and beautiful things about the entire process is if you're able to pick up upon it. Sometimes it's easier in hindsight, right? But to be able to realize that the true joy and experience doesn't come from necessarily being able to come home and put the fish on the table. It's everything you went through to become the person capable of doing so. They say it's the journey, not the destination, right? And if you can be aware enough to pick up along the way and appreciate the journey for what it is, and each step and each struggle and each time you fail and fall down, and the times that you use the wrong bait, and the times that the fishing rod snaps, or you spend hours in the wrong fishing spot and no fish are biting, and all of that builds upon your instincts and knowledge and the information you're able to call upon to provide for your family. And that's the most beautiful moment and piece of it all, is you're able to have everything internalized and become a part of who you are and what you're capable of. So I would love for any of you out there that have a skill that you know has served you well and can help others to take it upon yourself. Take on a mentee, become a mentor and guide someone else. Give them that, empower them with that ability. Share those gifts with them, because none of us need to starve. None of us need to struggle to catch that fish, right? And it's no good to give that person the fish. You've got to give them the ability to provide for themselves. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoy what I'm giving you as this lesson that's been shared with me, and something that I've learned over my years, and finally, feel a sense of joy and relief that I'm able to provide for my family. And I want to pass this stuff on to you. If I can't be a mentor to people, in as I said, that proximity, there's not that closeness of us, then I can use these tools like this, to put it out there and share with other people, so it reaches far and wide, and hopefully that it brings you the value, and now maybe how to grab a different fishing rod, or even that you need a fishing rod, right? So I thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm very blessed to be able to share and communicate and enjoy this process with you guys. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the channel. Every social media platform, we're under Forever Better Academy. Get amongst it. Let's grow together. All right? Have a blessed day, and remember, as always, who could you become? All right? Send me a message. Tell me about your best fishing spot, okay? Because not just fishing is in a metaphor. I like to fish too, all right? Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Thanks for listening. Talk soon.